All right, here we are. Okay, finally on the air. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this month's episode of Moby Bear Fightcast. Did I say that right? Whatever. I don't know. I'm tired. I am MSC Stuckey, and on the line with me live via satellite is should be Ace Combat.
Hey, Nolan.
Hey,
Hey,
how's it
everybody.
going? All right. So, we should probably just move the show to 6:30.
We might as well. We follow. You know how there's standard time?
Yeah,
Podcast standard
yeah,
time.
it's about us. Yeah, well, it's about you anyway.
All
Although,
the time.
well,
I
this
I'll probably show you a certain SpongeBob video about the 6 o'clock. Maybe you probably get the reference,
no.
but I think it's perfect.
Yeah, this time it was your fault that we were late, but last time it was both our faults because you were actually here 2 hours early, and we still ended up going almost an hour late. So anyway, uh, how's it been going?
It's been going alright so far. Um, I didn't get to play much of the. Well, I didn't get to play any of the Soul Calibur beta, honestly. But
Mm-hmm.
I saw some footage of it. It seems nice. A lot of people are having fun, at least. Uh,
Yeah, I
what
played
about
a
you?
little bit. It was fun. I enjoyed. I only got a chance to play it a little bit because we had to go up to Hattiesburg to streams, Red September and everything, which was a ton of fun. Of course, it was a lot of work for me, but still had some fun. Um, you competed in what, 3 games?
I competed in Tekken, Dragon Ball Fighter Z, and Street Fighter Five.
Yeah. I just competed in Street Fighter. And of course, well, it wasn't my first match, but your first match was against me, right?
Oh yeah,
You got to buy that first round. Yeah. Yeah.
a buy. Oh yeah, yeah, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. You actually did. Yeah.
I forgot about that.
And so, yeah, I got
I,
to fight you first. I knew it too the whole time. I was like, I'm either going to be fighting Ace Combat or Greg first. I just knew it. It was going to be one or the other. And when we pulled up the list when we were getting ready to set it up and everything, I was like, I knew it. I freaking knew it. There it is. And Sean didn't even realize it until like right before we actually fought. And he was like, "Man, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize." Like, yeah, we'd already saw it like an hour ago.
yeah, that's always been like the curse. Because every time like me and you in an event, you just seem
Somehow we always end up
like we
seeing
always
fighting each
first.
other first. Yeah. So, but yeah, yeah, you got me this time. But it was 2-1 though. I got
Oh yeah, it was
well.
2-1.
I
Yeah,
would say I got close. I won the second fight, and then the third one, you pretty much ran away with that one.
yeah. The whole me jumping in a lot. I just probably shouldn't get. I shouldn't be getting away with most of the time.
Yeah. Um. Let's see. I didn't see your match against Greg after that.
Oh,
How bad was it?
it was pretty bad overall. I mean, only like I'm just just to be bold up front. It was bad enough that I couldn't get a single round. But um, the first, I think it's either the first two or or just the first round that was just terrible.
Mm.
Like I couldn't really get much going. But I think the latter few rounds, like I kind of would get somewhere,
Hmm.
and it'd be like there were moments that you can make it out, but yeah, like for example, the last round I remember it was like you know we were both low health, and I risked it on an overhead, and he blocked overhead and punished with a short jab super, no short jab bullhead super, and took the round.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, I was wondering who he played you
oh, birdie,
with. Was
Pretzel
it
time.
Birdie? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because like right after our match, I had to go back to the stream area and everything, so I didn't really see anything after that. But I did get a short break after that, to which I went and played Greg, and I wanted to play his Birdie, but then of course he picked Dawson. It's like probably Abigail's worst match. So it's like, oh, this
Yeah,
is going to be fun.
yeah, yeah. He's optimizing the counterpick strats. So
Yeah, yeah. So
hey, it's playing to win, so
Mm-hmm.
I respect that.
But yeah, he gave me some tips. Told me I actually did pretty good against you. I was like, yeah, it was just Ace Combat though. He don't really count anymore. Uh,
Mm.
and then yeah, I went back to streaming after that. But yeah, the whole day was fun. Blaze Blue, where Pika Shocks actually came in fourth.
Fourth. Yeah, that surprised me. He did really well the last event,
Yeah.
Mobile.
Mm-hmm.
So
So I think he could have done a little better up there if he wasn't. I don't know, but it was cool to see him up there though. Um,
yeah,
and
I was talking to him, and he seemed to have like conflictions on like what uh, character to use because I think he was considering what making a switch to someone.
hmm
Uh, I think it was with Aurier, but yeah, I mean, if he can find the right team synergy he likes, then sure. But yeah, who won the what was like a was it
uh,
the Mika team?
for Blaze Blue,
Yeah.
let me see here real quick. I guess I should have brought this up beforehand. See, this would be nice if I actually got stuff ready to go before we answer. It was Black and
Oh
Galaxy.
yeah, Black and Galaxy won.
Yeah.
Just the team used was that was the
It
Mika team,
was
right?
yeah. It's Mika. Crap, I can't remember. I can't
It's
remember.
funny because like I know Mika because like that's like one character you see out of like all the other top tiers you don't see often, I guess.
Oh yeah.
But I'm pretty sure the other teammate was like, yeah, that must have been like a really good. Oh no, wait,
Oh, it was
was it Yuzuriha?
no.
Oh, Yuzuriha was the opponent's.
The blonde girl with the punches and the fire and the
Oh yeah,
song changes when
yeah,
her health
yeah.
gets low. What happens when this when her health gets low like that? Is she like
She gets
Jin in
installed
MVC
mode.
two or something where she get like super armor or something?
She gets she gets install mode and basically just a lot of things improve from her overall. So she get like additional hits from her attacks. I think her special moves get better.
Okay, is that is
Um,
that is that like a character trait of something from her from the anime
yeah.
or something? I have no idea. I've never
Oh,
seen it.
I don't watch Ruby anime, so
Yeah, I've,
I
I've
can't
never
say
seen it
that.
either. Yeah, but yeah, that's who he used. That chick
Yeah.
and the girl with the iron gloves. Yeah, I didn't know she was like considered so good. I only played with her because I only knew the Undernight characters in that game. So I was like, oh yeah, the girl with the iron gloves. I know her. Okay, I'll pick her.
Yeah,
So
it's Mika and Waltz. That's
yeah, that's my
Waltz.
team,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
that's your team pretty much.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tekken 7 was freaking.
It was crazy with how much competition. Well, like
There was a lot of good
real
players there
challengers.
for
Yeah.
for that game. Tom Savage won it. He's from Florida, I know. Um, what was the dude? Was it Drago? I guess was he the one that was using I keep wanting to say bake. Um,
Wrong.
yeah, was that him? I think it was. I could just go back and watch the video, I guess, but that'd be too much work. But I think that was the Huarong player who was just murdering folks. I mean,
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, the match with Chris McGee, and yeah, it felt like a matchup this year thing. Matchup familiarity thing because he was telling me like he probably need to look over the Warong stuff more. But it's weird because I know Chris McGee's like the guy that puts a lot of time in Tekken, or
oh yeah, yeah.
he if not now then like in the past like the guy's a notorious strong Tekken player.
Mm-hmm.
Like overall just a solid player. So it's just weird to see like him have matchup familiarity issues even today. So it must feel it's probably like a common trend. Is just there's so many things to look out for in the game for all characters, and it's just yeah you can always lose up experience on character over time because I guess there's so much to know in the game in general.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that's surprised me the most. I mean that he's said that. Um, but I don't know. I also think it's probably because Anna's like not that great. Which I mean that came to my match with him too. I was more surprised with how I was doing against him because I'm like, wait, no, this should not be going as smoothly as it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, have you watched our match?
No. Did y'all play on stream?
Yeah, we played on stream.
Oh, and I was actually the one running the stream at the time. I have no recollection.
Yeah,
I have no
like
recollection of that fight at all.
yeah, we played each other. I think the second, like the first game I played was against a Dragon Ball Fighter Z player that was just playing Akuma,
Mm-hmm.
and he told me he didn't really play much for Tekken, but he did really well in DBFZ. I think he got top 3. But I played his Akuma. It was okay. A lot of it felt like me being unfamiliar. Like I had to remember how to play Tekken when I was playing, and then it got true over time. Then I played Chris, and yeah, this whole set surprised me. But a lot of me thinking is more of I was more thinking that Anna just wasn't that good. But I don't know.
She looked pretty good in his hands.
Oh yeah, well, like maybe it's just like against a Mishima, or maybe he was just like warming up. But from like what I heard from other people, and just like from what I dealt with, it didn't feel like as something as like really as like a oppressive like as like a season 1 Dragunov or a season 1 Double Jin or the current Double Jin
Mm-hmm.
or like a lot of other really good characters. I think a lot of the losses came down from me not knowing how to deal with her throws. Because I think that even in the whole set was her throw, and I just didn't know how to deal with it. And that I think it was like, I think the same issue happened with me with Paul. Like the next player I faced.
Obi-Wan.
Yeah, Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And yeah, every time like I throw, I was like, yeah, that I noticed after the animation that looked like a 2 throw, and there was no way I can like take that. And that must be like early like meta strats to do like against like players that aren't really familiar with Tekken. Is just use the throws that like one or 2 based only, but are like command based. So you would have to take one or the other,
Mm-hmm.
not just because there's a throws you can do that you can take with either 1 and 2, and you'd be fine. Or you could and then there's throws with 1+2, and then there's direct left or right throws where you have to press 2 only for this throw and 1 for this throw. So, and he was using the specific Paul command throws that some characters have where you have to press like only this one button. And I think it was mainly 2, I think. And yeah, I think like, well, for me personally, I barely press 1. I mean, I barely press 2, which is triangle, to tech the throw. It's not natural because to me, like a 1 a square, that's like a light punch. You hit light punch a lot in most of every game, almost. So yeah, that's just one thing I just have to really know more about. Just learn how to get used to the tech throw game. Like you got to watch what arms are reaching you with. This is like basic tech and stuff, but like it takes a lot of time to get used to it. But yeah, with the match with Chris McGee, it was I don't know. I felt like I got by with stuff I really shouldn't have, because if I think it was like Ling Xiaoyu or someone like else, like I'm pretty like I would have been a complete wop, because he's really good. Like he gotten first at that one Biloxi tournament, or the Iroquois tournament last year. No, that was the one you were there and hosted, and he took it.
Was he there? I don't remember. It's
Yeah.
been so long ago now. Yeah. Was that last year? It was last year, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was. That was when the game came out.
Yeah. Yep. So, but I mean, that whole tournament was just a lot of fun. Why? I have no recollection of you and him fighting on stream for some reason. Like I said, it's probably when I was waiting for food to show. That's all I cared about. But
Wait a minute, something's not right.
was not right.
Yeah, no, never mind. I for some reason I thought Tekken came out 2 years ago, but it was last year. I'm getting confused with the whole arcade release getting like delayed so long.
Oh
The
yeah.
console release being delayed so long.
Felt like the game was delayed for like 8 years before it finally came
Exactly,
out.
yeah. It was like that for it almost felt like that for 6 as well. But yeah.
Let's see. Then Dragon Ball Fighters. Jakey the Snakey won it. Now that was that young kid, right?
Yes, he's from Louisiana.
Somebody told me he was he's 14.
14. Yes,
Wow.
very young.
I knew he was young. I didn't know he was that young.
Yeah, he's pretty young, and
I
he's
mean,
really good at that age.
I mean, he just he just ran right through it.
And there's like apparently like a decent lore with it too. Like, I guess maybe just to help out in that scene in like that area in general, but like I think he just learned like the whole Gotenks team that time.
Mm-hmm.
So, and for him to learn that like the new team and just come to this event and just do this well, like yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
So I had to give him props for that.
I mean,
it's kind of hard to not give props to a young, like someone new, young, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So I really I was really enjoying a lot of that play in general. So this stuff I hope to see more from him.
Yeah. That was crazy. Because now Street Fighter had started while Dragon Ball was going on, so I was kind of going back and forth from the stream, so I actually missed most of that stream. So by the time I got back over there, they were in like the losers final. Because all the Street Fighter guys were just waiting on that to end. It's like, oh my god.
Oh yeah, I was there too when people were saying like, how long is Dragon Ball?
It was like
it takes too long.
Yeah, it's like it's almost over. I think they're in grand finals now. What? Loser semi? Crap.
Yeah, that really takes way too long.
At high level play, it can, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jake and Snakey won it. Wootsick took second, and the Black Morty took third on that one. And then Street Fighter, no big surprise, I don't think. So, won. Negro took that one with nice one, taking second place. I didn't know he was going to be there.
Alabama came true.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure they expected to take first, second, and third, but GOL Symphony took third because you eliminated somebody.
I eliminated a birdie.
Yeah, 4H Tim. Now I didn't know that's who that was. I had seen his. I had actually seen his stream a couple of times, but I didn't put the face together with him, I guess. But when I saw it was Birdie, and then because it was when I lost my last match, and then I came back over, and he wanted to commentate Street Fighter Top 8, and so we were asking the name, and just before he said it, I was like, wait, is that 4H Tim? That is him. So I didn't even realize. So, yeah, your match against him was actually pretty good. Now, I remember before that, me and you were just kind of chatting, and I brought up some stuff that you should and shouldn't do against Birdie, and I don't know if you were taking my advice or not, but it kind of looked like you were. So I felt good about that, even if you weren't. I was like, oh, he did what I said.
Definitely was something I did forget about, which was what was it? EX Tatsu out of the corner.
Uh-huh.
I didn't really do that often.
And
I probably should have.
you kept jumping too. It's like I was behind you at the time, and I was almost screaming, "Stop jumping! What are you doing?"
Sometimes the jump works. Didn't it not work one time?
Not against him.
I think one time it traded, and that was like
I
put
think,
me out of the corner.
yeah, I think one time it did. You're right. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The EX. Yeah, I remember when you actually did it. I was like, okay, yeah, there it is. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. But otherwise, it was looking bad there for a second.
Yeah,
But you were able
I
to
had it.
come back.
Yeah,
And by that last game, I was like, okay, it was still close,
yeah.
um, but yeah, you pull that one out, and then you lost to Symphony,
Yeah.
who
This the Yeah, about the birdie match. I was like, felt like I had to go for a pace and play. I don't know if like it was something you noticed or not. The commentators noticed when I was rewatching,
yeah,
but it probably was like the best thing to do. But I felt like I had to because like it's kind of hard to find an opening against birdie sometimes. So it's like I kind of had to like really find what's the right spot. But the thing's like a lot of spots at that area, that's where birdie's normally good at. The hard part's like, for him is, if Ken does like a random dash and then deuce, like promote scramble play.
mm-hmm,
Thing is like it's not really my thing to go for, like initiating scrambles offense.
mm-hmm.
So,
But I mean,
um,
it works against
yeah,
him.
but yeah, then the Cammy match happened, and the Cammy match was like interesting. Um, I definitely lost that as like a fair square kind of situation. Like it definitely like made sense as to why. Like some of my cons was like I didn't tech fuzzy jump tech throw often.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times I just end up throwing or just end up dealing with her uh, semi game, like baiting the throw and then punishing it, or like I like hit a button and just get countered it. If I would just like, I think I should have like went for jump toward fuzzy throw at the corner more, and then there's these EX Tatsu in case like I just saw like, hey like this person didn't do this person he didn't time the meteor right or throw right, so I can just EX Tatsu and get out of the corner. I didn't really do that often. That would have probably helped a lot whenever he cornered me, and now it's like, it's always the bad spot to be in the corner. So should have done that. Everything else, it felt a lot like how early season 5 was like, except for the fact that if I get a throw, I can't really establish the same offensive Oki. But it probably didn't matter much in the long run. But still, it felt relatively close to like an older like gameplay that I'm using. And I'm just surprised like not much has changed. But it's like if I've played other characters, like it feels like how I approach the match is a lot different now than how it was at like season 1 or 2. Hers is weird because he still feels like the same character as season 1, which surprises me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and there's some things like I didn't even know her back medium punch was like plus on block, and that's like her like 4 frame I think normal, similar to like Ken's back song. It's just that you can't like one hit confirm it. So yeah, that surprised me. Even though he probably didn't use it as much, and there's no real reason to. It's just to have that there. It's really good. Yeah, that was a good match. GLL Symphony did really well overall with Cammy. Just early on, it was just like, yeah, the dive kicks was a little like reckless, but over time it kind of suited out and
Yeah.
spaced them better, and then got the better offense in the long run and made it work out.
Yeah. Um, then he went on to play Nice One, who I think me and you were talking about that after. It's like I had no idea. I hadn't seen Nice One play in like forever. So I presumed he probably played with Zeku, but I didn't know. So,
Yeah,
so sure
yeah,
enough,
I wasn't sure either.
and, that he pulls off that one combo. The losers finally just seemed to go on
Oh yeah,
forever. Everybody there was like, "Oh my god!"
yeah. He was
Oh, it was
looking
so
really
good.
bad early.
It was
And
like,
it felt like one of the issues was like he didn't GOL Symphony wasn't like taking advantage of Ziku's like big weakness of like not having a really good wake up game.
hmm he probably didn't know.
So
I presume that it might have been one of those things where he just never played that character that much. He's never played against
yeah,
that character that much, so he didn't know what to do where.
yeah, that kind of makes sense. I mean, not many people really play Zeku,
Mm-mm.
so it's really hard to get familiar with. It's kind of like Alex, where it's like what you don't have to really train against Alex because nobody really uses him. But
I
yeah,
fight Alex a lot,
stuff
but
like this can get you down. Yeah.
yeah, I guess most Alex players are down in the super plat range because I seem to fight them all the dang time. I tell you, but but yeah. So anyway, Red September was a lot of fun. I guess is what I was trying to say. Before we got into
Just
all of
forget.
that.
Oh, we're just giving out how the grand finals closed out.
How did it close out? It was kind of a blur.
Well, it was a Blanca blur.
Oh well, yeah. So yeah, well, yeah, just the fact that it was Blanca, but my God. So the
He went with
winners,
that costume too.
yeah, of course. I mean, you have to do the costume if you play with them. You have to.
Yeah.
But
You
yeah,
don't
the
want to get
winners
waxed.
final was him and Nice One, and it was 3-0 that time, but Nice One kind of adjusted for the grand finals. It was close. It was 3-2, but yeah, he still pulled it out with
Yeah.
with
It was up to Greg and a nice one too.
yeah. Yeah, his Blanca's tough, man. So so yeah, that was Red September in a nutshell. Apparently, there was a Street Fighter 4 side tournament that nobody told me about. I actually would have liked to join that and play Street Fighter 4 in forever. So, all right, talking about events.
I wasn't aware of it either.
Oh, I think it happened before you showed up. So I think it was probably already over by the time you got there. But so anyway, talking about events real quick and going over some events coming up here. See, tomorrow we got a Wild Willie Saturday Showdown. Now this is in maybe Fort Walton. It's weird they didn't have the location of where it was going to be. The location said Navarre, but I'm presuming it said Wild Willie's Adventure Zone in Fort Walton. So we'll go with that. I don't know. But they're playing Blaze Blue, Cross Tag Battle, Street Fighter 5, uh, Fighting EX Layer, and Dragon Ball. Let's see, you got Saturday, October 20th here in Mobile. Got Hidden Power up at Gamers and Geeks. They're playing all the Smash stuff like usual. Then also Saturday, October 20th is a new challenger approaching. Now that's out in Opelika, Alabama at Red Clay Brewing Company.
Yeah.
They'll be playing Soul Calibur, Street Fighter, Tekken 7, and Dragon Ball as well. What'd you say?
Oh, I was saying, yeah, I saw that group that was shared by Sam.
Yeah, I saw that this morning. I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So if it wasn't 3.5 hours away, I'd think about going tomorrow, but I got stuff to do anyway. So, and then Emerald Coast Con. It's the first weekend in November. That's out in Fort Walton Beach. It's going to be at the Island Beachside Resort. That'll be Saturday and Sunday. thing. They'll have a Smash 4 tournament, a Melee tournament, Street Fighter 5, Dragon Ball Fighters, Tekken 7, Soul Calibur 6, and a bunch of other games too. But those are the main fighting games they'll be playing. I believe the Smash, the Street Fighter 5, and Dragon Ball are going to be on Saturday. Tekken 7 and Soul Calibur 6 are going to be on Sunday. I believe that's the breakdown of it. But you might want to go to their event page or their web page to figure it out on that. This will. I'm probably gonna miss this Emerald Coast Con. I've been at and helped host every Emerald Coast Con since the inception of it, and this is probably gonna be the first one I've missed. So I'm very upset by that. I might be in Baltimore for reasons on that day. So
All right, we'll just leave it at that, I guess.
yeah. We'll just leave it at that. See, ongoing weekly events. Of course, Mondays, the Nerdery League up at Alchemy Tavern here in Mobile. O'Reilly's downtown Throwdown at O'Reilly's Irish Pub in Pensacola. Do you know if they're still doing the Wayward weeklies out in Biloxi by chance?
I
haven't heard
I haven't been
anything.
in contact with them.
Yeah, I haven't heard.
I'm actually gonna message to him right now. Actually, just to make sure if they're still doing it or not.
Okay, well, if they are, it was on Mondays at the Wayward Kraken in Biloxi. See, Tuesdays is Nightmare Mobile bi-weeklies. They play Smash 4 there. Secret Power on Thursdays at Gamers and Geeks. And Friday, usually the first Friday of every month, but we're doing it next Friday, October 19th. We're doing our casuals meet up at Karabi Bubble Tea. That'll be the October 19th. That'll be the day Soul Calibur 6 comes out. So that's what I plan on playing. And if it's anything like usual, I plan to play one thing, but then everybody else shows up and we end up playing, something else. but hopefully everybody will want to play a little Soul Calibur when it comes out. So that'll be next Friday, right here.
It's been a hot thing, so pretty sure there'll be more people trying to get onto that.
Yeah, I should have at least 2 setups of it. Hopefully 3 by the time I pack up and head up that way. So there's that, and like I say, we usually end up playing all kinds of other stuff too. Usually somebody will bring another setups with, there's always the anime guys are there, so there will be Blaze Blue, there will be Dragon Ball, assuming that they show up. So all of that stuff. Okay, so some stuff happened since the last time we talked. Android 17 and Cooler came out for Dragon Ball Fighters. You been able to play any of them or have any thoughts on it? Or
I played a bit with Android 17.
mm-hmm.
He's okay. It's just that I think we probably need like really oppressive like combo extensive assists like a Vegeta to make him like work at its like his best.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was like I don't know if I can really make a team that fits with him, and a combination of like there's only like really notable normals, probably like 5M and 3H, which is a slide. That's probably one of the best things about like his normal still says his slide. That's nice. And he has a 2LO. It's nice too. But yeah, personally, like Bardock is still the best bang in your buck DLC character to get.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, so it's just if you're just looking for like a Bardock like character, then probably 17 probably doesn't fit that kind of role. It's probably the same for Cooler, but I mean they're still decent. I know, like with Cooler, one cool thing about him is well, on top of his normals being really long, and it's also his assist that I think is like cool pretty cool too, is because it's so long. It's like having a DP assist, like with what adult Gohan, T Gohan, but no, but the thing about them is their horizontal distance and controls like really like weak.
Hmm.
It mainly goes like at like a 11 to 12 o'clock angle, so it doesn't really get much coverage. Whereas coolers is like in between a 10 to 11 o'clock angle, and it's like a lot of coverage. So and it's invincible, so it's yeah, that's really strong.
So, yeah, it's pretty good.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, he has a good like kind of like get off me assist, even though it's not as fast to initiate the invincibility, but it's good. Um, the other things like might be a problem to note is like he has a lot of these like corner like switching positions supers and uh, combos that might affect his like screen control if you're the player like the player that wants to like keep the person in the corner. It's something to look for because sometimes you can do certain supers and accents that will probably switch the corners. Even though when you put the time in, like you'll just you'll just change your combo structure to just do whatever will keep the person in the corner. You probably end it with a DP ender, or use your supers once you know that the opponent's gonna get killed off or something like that, or you get decent Oki off of like a level 3. Um, but at the end of the day, it's not a Bardock, but it's still early, so we'll see how things go. I haven't seen like any like tournament play with these two, so that's gonna wait on that.
Yeah, I guess there hadn't been any real tournaments since they came out. I mean, they were banned at Red September, so
Yep, they sure were.
yeah. So I mean, I played like half an hour with the both of them, and that's probably the most Dragon Ball I've played in a while. So I did like Cooler though. I thought he was pretty fun.
You did? Oh, you liked them?
Yeah, I like Cooler. Android 17 was way too complicated for me. I was like, oh, you got to do all this. Never mind.
Yeah. Well, even that is like the Rekkas itself. Like they're not like safe string. Well, not safe strings. They can be safe. It's just like going from a normal to a Rekka. It's reflectable and
Hmm.
level 3able too. So it's not like a free start of it's not a free way to get presser started. You would need to have assists to make it safe, basically. But like just as a surefire way to make it unreflectable or massable to a level 3.
Hmm.
But I mean you probably get someone not hard, not ready to reflect in between to happen, and then you have like even more scary mix-ups over time with with assist covering. So because you can definitely do some things like even wall. You can even like have like an Android 16 assist, for example, use it and then wall clinch, and then probably get like a nice empty load mix-up. You
Your
probably can't get a cross-up off of it, but
your microphone sounding weird.
hmm,
By the way,
maybe it's Skype.
probably I don't know. Talking to the mic. Anyway, uh, um, yeah, I couldn't even. I got to his 10th trial combo trial thing. I just couldn't do it. It's like I can't remember. There was the one where you had to do one of your strings, and then there was two of them in one combo. Yeah, I was done. It's like I tried.
Yeah,
My brain doesn't work like
yeah.
that
You
anymore.
basically have to like, yeah, you basically have to follow like whatever's the best pattern to use,
Hmm.
and it depends on if you have meter too. So it's like
Yeah.
probably is at most 3 variations to follow through, but I forgot what they are.
Don't
It's
ask
like
me.
light. I think it's like whatever QCF light or medium into another medium, uh, down medium, and then from there it's whatever. If you have bar, you can ascend it with the EX blast. But if not, you might as well just go to super or level 3 or Vanis into Oki. I mean, that's the other thing too. It's like afterwards, you're gonna have to probably find a way to make a hard knockdown situation from him. So, but that's off of the records. If you're just getting, traditional jump to H strings somehow, then you usually get knockdowns fine. But yeah, he's a little. He's probably picky on team synergy. So, speaking of that's kind of like my problem with the game too. Well, two problems. One, I need to get familiar with like general gameplay, like patterns and aspects, what to look for. And team synergy, and having like a character crisis with Cell and Android 16, and who to use as a third character. So, but otherwise, like as far as like, I mean, if we're just talking about Android 17 and cooler in general, yeah, they're okay. They're just not Bardock.
Sorry, I was just looking at something here. I kind of lost you there, but don't worry about it. But yeah, either way, when is the next big Dragon Ball thing? There was one last weekend, wasn't there? Is it like South America or something like that? I missed most of it.
I mean, there were two Dragon Ball events. There was like
Were there two?
Wait.
I want to say there was one in like South America or something because I saw a little bit of that one.
There was the Thunderstruck event. But that was in Mexico.
Yeah, that's probably the one I saw then. And I also saw a little bit of it. And I don't know if anybody was using Android 17 or cooler there, or even if they were allowed. So.
Someone did use 17.
Okay.
That was Chris G.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he I think that's like his side team. Those 17 Tien and Trunks. He still uses like the main team of Team Gohan, Tien and Trunks, likely throughout the whole tournament. Okay. He only got fifth there, so that was surprising.
Yeah. One thing I found weird about Android 17, it seems like all of his level 1 supers are cinematic and his level 3 isn't.
Yeah, that is interesting.
it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's also good too because it's like if you manage to catch an assist with it, you can definitely make like an happy birthday with his level 3, make it work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if you ever just get like a 5M and then like 3H, call it sparking, and then do like a record. No, you don't even have to do 3H. You just go 5M, Rekka series, then sparking, and then continue the Rekka series, and then either you continue the Rekka or the jump. The jumping variation is more damaging. I guess the Rekka is more for style points, whatever the person feels comfortable with.
Right.
You can kill off the assist with that, with his level 3. Because other characters, a lot of times the level 3 will just pop out and they can't get every damage off of it, or it plays a cinematic and you don't get anything. So that's really nice. I as far as gameplay goes, like getting the most of things, that is nice to have that as a level 3. But yeah, at the same time, it hurts his level 1 supers too, because then you can't really do happy birthdays conversions with level 1s. So
yeah. I picked up on that as I was watching somebody else play. I was like, wait a minute, that kind of sucks. But so those two are out, and so that's the end of season 1, which again I still believe the only DLC that game's going to get. I think there's going to be a Fighters 2 before there's a next season of DLC, because there's not a whole lot of more viable characters you can put in the game. If you put any more DLC characters in the game, who are you going to put in the next game? It's my argument. So
super.
Well, yeah, I mean,
but from the supercasters like Jiren and all that.
Those are the only characters left, though.
Season 2?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think there's going to be a season 2. I think there's just going to be a part 2 of that game.
Yeah,
a new version of the game.
Same way.
because again, there's not that many characters left. And, I mean, the only way to start going would be to go back even to put Dragon Ball characters in there. But let's be realistic. Who else besides maybe King Piccolo and Tao Pai Pai are you going to put in there? You know, and even those two would be so heavily underpowered by that point, but they would still kind of work. You know, in lore and everything. But either way,
Yeah,
um,
Yamcha works.
huh?
So Yamcha's works. So I don't think lore
Well,
matters at this point.
well, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean,
Yamcha's his
but
own
to be
lore.
fair, in Z, Yamcha was stronger than even either one of those two. So, well,
What about Tien?
theoretically, Tien is
What about
strong. He's the strongest. Well, me and
I
my
remember playing
illustrious
with
twin get in a
John.
fight about this all the time. I always say he's the strongest human on Earth, but he always says he's not a human. So that's why it doesn't matter. But of all the characters, besides all the characters in Dragon Ball, that's not an alien, which meaning there's somebody that wasn't born on that on Earth. He's actually the strongest character. He's stronger than Krillin. He's way stronger than Yamcha. But he's not as strong as fused Piccolo. Although, is he? No, he's probably a little less than Piccolo is. He was strong enough to keep second form Cell at bay, but that's all he could do. He couldn't really hurt him. Piccolo couldn't even do that. Vegeta couldn't even do that at the time. So, but
Man, we're getting heavy in that Dragon Ball.
yeah, I know. But either way, yeah, it's like I say, it's just something that I've been thinking about. It's like, no, they're not going to do any more DLC characters. They're probably just going to wait and release a new game, probably next year. They might put more modes and stuff in it. There's still something on the map on the bottom right that doesn't really do anything, right? Or have they put something there yet, and I just don't know about it?
I think I have the same thought as you. I think they didn't really do anything to it.
Yeah, so they could probably add another mode there. One thing I was surprised I hadn't played the game in a while. There's a one-on-one match now mode.
One.
That's what it looked like.
I I I think yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Wasn't that there in the beginning?
Mm-mm. Or if it was,
Maybe.
I didn't know about it.
Okay. Maybe like because I know online had like a 3v3, and I think maybe
Yeah.
they mentioned about working that for offline play,
Mm-hmm.
but
So
yeah, 1v1. Maybe that was you that you mentioned.
yeah,
So
I had no idea. So, but yeah, so yeah, I think we talked about that game enough. So let's see what else happened. We talked about the Soul Calibur 6 open beta earlier. I only had enough time to play with Zasalamel for a couple of hours, and that was about it. Didn't get the chance to play with Geralt. I really wanted to, be able to play with him next week and everything. But as far as the network test went, I think it felt pretty good actually. It was weird because if it told you had a 4 or 5 bar, those were actually some of the worst connections I had. Then if it was like 2 or 3 or even 1, it felt fine. So obviously they need to work on that. But otherwise, I only had 2 fights. I couldn't tell you how many fights I actually fought, but I only had 2 fights that were like, whoa, this is bad. But all the other ones felt good. And of those 2, one of them was only like a lot of lag, and one of them was like skipping like crazy and everything. But those are really the only 2 fights that I had that felt bad. So as long as the network holds up to what was in the test, I think the online should be good.
what options did they like gave you for when it came to online play?
Just ranked. That was it.
Oh,
You picked your
okay.
character. You went into rank. You picked your character. You waited for a fight. That's all.
No training mode, nothing.
Nope.
No options.
None of that. None of that. And I didn't know any of the moves. So like the first 40 minutes or so I'm playing, and I'm trying to I'm trying to figure out what the Solomel's moves is because I hadn't played with him since Soul Calibur 4.
Did they let you at least button config?
Yeah, yep, yep, yep.
Okay.
And there's all the new systems and everything, and you can tell the folks who didn't know what the new systems were because they would start like the oh, what's it called? Because I'm not really too familiar with them either. There's the Soul something, I forgot, where you like do the red attack thing and you go into like this slow mo thing where you choose what attack you're going to do and how to defend it and stuff like that. So you could tell the folks who didn't know who was just kind of slamming on buttons and was activating and didn't know what it was because they would go into it and like wouldn't do anything, or they would win it and wouldn't do anything after. So they'd just be standing there like, what the heck did I just do? So,
Is that that rock paper scissors thing?
yeah, yeah, you can do
How does that work?
you can do horizontal, vertical, kick, block, or dodge. I think there's another option too. But was it horizontal beats vertical, vertical beats kick, and kick beats horizontal or something like that. But when you win, it basically like knocks it into a state where you can keep comboing after that, or like I said, I'm not 100% sure how it works myself, to be honest. I had to look it up because I kept doing it on mistake too. It's like, okay, what am I doing to do it? Because I kept trying to do Zasalamel's um, blockable, and I would end up doing that instead. So, um, but I did find out, but I forgot already. So I'll try to learn the moves this coming up week before the game comes out. Um, but
Yeah,
uh,
I think I've seen that list. Well, like a flow chart that says about
hmm
what beats what in that situation. So I think I know what that's about actually. Um, I didn't really take a good glance at it, like study, but like, yeah, I do know. Um, yeah, there's like a lot of like outcomes you can get
yeah,
based on what you choose. That's such a weird mechanic to add.
it is. And well, it's funny. I was watching uh, Max on his stream the other night. He went back and played Soul Edge, the first game, and
Yeah.
it was actually in that too. And when as soon as he was reading the instruction booklet, and as soon as he said it, I was like, "Oh my god, I completely forgot about that. It was in the first game, the very first one." Which is funny because I didn't even really care for the game when it was in the arcades. It was only when we got it on the PS1 that I started like really getting into it. Of course, with Rock and the Great Axe, best thing ever. But
Oh yeah. And then what did they do to Rock and Soul Calibur 6?
he's not even in it.
Did they did they did they like try to like make fun of him by having him? Well, making fun is not the right word, but they try to put him in the custom mode, in the character customization.
It was probably like folks like me, could at least kind of sort of have them. But I mean, it's not like Rock was ever considered a good. Matter of fact, I think most of the games he was in, he was considered the worst character in the game. So it's not really a surprise that he's not there. But there are Rock fans out there, is all I'm saying. And I still want Rock in the game. I'm still holding out hope. We still got the DLC characters, including Tira, who's a day one DLC character who was quite playable in the beta, by the way. Why isn't she just part of the original cast? Whatever. Here's Namco. What are you gonna do? So, and then they also announced Inferno as well, and then promptly announced that he would be banned from any
Yep.
uh, competitive play or whatever. So
Yeah.
I guess so he's pretty much his in-ball self from the older games. So does that make him? You think he probably still a boss in the game, or because I just kind of assumed that Aswell guy was the boss, but he might be a boss, and I guess they don't figure he's so cheap that he can't be banned. That
Maybe
he
he's
should be
like
banned, I should say.
Maybe it's like a mid boss until the final boss. I don't know.
Yeah, and then Inferno kind of shows up. So I guess Inferno is the last character of the
Mhm.
main roster of the game that's going to be in it at this point.
Yeah,
It's
and
like
he's only playable, I think at local versus, but you can't even like even though he's like you can't he's banned in tournaments. And not only that,
he's banned in
you can't
online
even
play
use
too,
him
right?
online.
Yeah,
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 that's
yeah. No online. I guess they were just like we're just gonna go ahead and skip that. Don't want to hear those
that
arguments and
sucks.
everything. So, hey,
Some people might be true fans of the actual design.
well, yeah, I remember thinking to myself, God, I hope he's not in the game. I've never been a big fan of his anyway. It just kind of always seemed kind of a not good character design. Hey, here's a big ball of fire with a sword. It's like, yay.
Yeah, it's already been done.
So, I mean, he looks all right, I guess, in this one, but you know, wasn't a character. I don't know if anybody was clamoring to get their hands on him or whatnot. So, but here he is,
Yeah.
and he's banned. So there we go. Some quick notes here for some news. SNK Heroines announced Skullomania as a guest character.
Oh yeah.
Gotta say, I didn't see that one coming. Although it makes sense seeing
Nope.
that um, uh,
Terry Bogard's going
Terry
to be
Bogard, yeah,
fighting in Slayer, so
is going to
why
be
not
fighting
have
EX
someone
Slayer.
from
So
Halo?
yeah,
So
that's
I
probably
respect that. And
the fair trade they got. But I mean, she looks pretty much like Skullomania. I mean, she's got all the moves. One thing I've noticed though, and I can't remember the other guest character's name, but apparently you can't. It doesn't seem like you'll be able to change their outfits and stuff. So probably a deal they made with the other companies. It's like, no, our characters only look like this. Okay, so that's kind of weird,
interesting.
but yeah. So Skullomania is
You
in
mean
that.
Thief Arthur?
Hmm.
Was that who it was? Thief Arthur?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Who I had no idea who that was. Apparently, she's from like some pachinko game or something like that.
Yeah, I don't even know who she is.
Yeah, I have
I've
no
looked
idea.
up,
It's more for the
but
Japanese audience, I guess. Fighting EX is going to be in on Steam. Have they said
yep.
when yet?
Nope. I've been constantly searching when it's gonna be up on the Steam store page, and there's nothing
Okay,
as of now.
so I'm sure they'll announce it soon. But it seems like they're kind of holding the other DLC characters hostage again. It's like, hey, if it doesn't sell on Steam, I don't know if we can do these DLC characters. It's like, hey, you said that before already. Come on, man. It's like I see your game at this point. Um,
We got to be understanding customers.
hmm I mean, hey, I already got all the characters I want. I don't care to be honest, but I know there's that one guy who really wants to play with Arena. That's like, come on, guys, buy the game. Arena. Um, let's see, DOA 6. A game I'm excited about. I know a bunch of folks don't care about it, but I was happy to see the return of Bass and Tina. Anybody who knows me in that game knows that she's my main character. So
Hmm.
Tina's back in, Bass is back in, and Mila is in, who I was happy about too because I really liked her in Five. It was cool to just have a straight MMA type style fighter in the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're in there and everything. And then something I didn't see until you brought it up right before we started. Uh, so there's gonna be a MVC Marvel vs. Capcom update to possibly Infinite.
Is
Kind of
update?
came up. So from what I gathered by reading over it real quick, they're looking at updating Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite and probably going to call it Marvel vs. Capcom 4.
That's just a rumor, though.
Yeah, So, but like I said, I didn't even hear about it until you said it. I was like, NBC 4, what? What's this? So sure enough, I went and looked, and there it was. So,
Yeah, there's some like things like interesting to note, like when this happened. Like, there was a photo like that Max had with NBCI figurines. It was like what Ryu and Captain Marvel, and it's weird how like certain GameStop stores like received this. So I think it was just like weird to have this come out, but yet it's like nothing with the game has been like sewn
yeah,
up
but
out the way.
those could have been already in the pipeline for a while, and
Probably, but why would
just
they
came
not
out now.
go?
It's like the NVCI fight sticks, you know. But by the time they actually came out, it was like nobody cared anymore. And but that also came out and kind of got everybody kind of stoked up for, oh, there might be an update, and then there was nothing, there wasn't anything. So, but yeah, it is interesting that they came out with some toys. But I think that's probably, like I said, just kind of a thing that was already in the pipeline, and they were like, hey, let's go ahead and release this thing. It's already done. So, plus from what I saw, they were talking about it not even coming out till next year. So, but it's possible they know something we don't and decided to go ahead and release it now. But if they knew when the game was when the update was planning to come out, they might want to wait till next year, or at least at the end of the year to kind of go with the hype of it, because it wasn't like this was an announcement. This is just all just kind of hearsay from what's his name, Vergabin, Vergabin,
Yeah,
Ver,
Fast Virgin or something
Ver,
like that.
Flaup, yeah. Um, so what he says, like all the characters that they talked about before were still on the table. So it was a Star Lord, Marvel, who'd be cool. Green Goblin, Wolverine, Cyclops, Psylocke, Magneto, Storm, Deadpool, Doctor Doom. God, I hope so. Daredevil, Asura, Lady, Gil, Rashid, Captain Commando, Nina. That's the girl from Dragon, no, Dragon Quest. I keep wanting to say Dragon Quest and Dragon Fire. What am I thinking? Fire? No, the whole
Um,
Capcom RPG series. I presume that's who they're talking about there. I don't know who Deez or Dies is. I have no idea who
you mean
that
Breath of
is.
Fire?
Brother Fire, that's it. Yeah. Regina Jean, Virgil Akuma, and Apollo Justice, who I presume
Oh,
would be very similar to um,
yeah, Phoenix Wright or
Phoenix, right? Yeah.
Nick, whatever the Japanese name was.
Yeah.
But they're gonna call him.
Yeah, I think Apollo Justice is the same in both, so it really doesn't make a difference. But though this
Yeah,
time
their whole
only
naming
mentions,
structure is different. But
so he
yeah, I wonder
mentions,
what style that would go for him. But but then again, this is all rumor, so you can't even verify it. But they're
yeah,
probably gonna give him
and
Iron
those
Man.
were names that were brought up, well before when the big update was supposed to be coming, and those were not all of them were necessarily supposed to be in it, but those were the ones that were brought up that for characters that would be put in the possibly put into the game. Although apparently this time he only brought up Star Lord, Miss Marvel, Ashura Gill, Lady, and Rashid slash Virgil specifically. I don't know why he put slash there, like they're the same character or something like that. So we got to blah 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 blah. Is in early development and likely won't be seeing anything official until next year. So one of the things that everybody's kind of hanging on here is that Combo Fiend, apparently works at Marvel now, working on their games.
Yeah,
Apparently, he helped with Spider Man. He used to work with Capcom. So everybody's kind of saying, of course, him being working with both companies, kind of was like, hey, you know that fighting game that you made that actually wasn't that bad. You just kind of screwed up the launch and everything. Well, why don't we go back and fix that? And so,
that's probably.
but then the whole, it's going to be called MVC4. Now, here's my thing. If it's basically just a big update of MVCI, what does that mean for anybody who already owns MVCI? Would it basically just be Ultimate MVCI? It's probably going to be a whole
Like
separate game.
like as a re-release kind of thing.
Yeah, because that's what I'm thinking about Ultimate. A lot of folks, I remember when Ultimate came out, thought, hey, Ultimate should be DLC for if you have three. Although it was different enough, where they kind of sort of could make it its own separate game. It was a bunch of new characters in the game, but the systems themselves wouldn't change that drastically. Had a new HUD and a couple of new things here and there, but some folks thought it could have just been an update. So I presume what they're saying here is right, and they just want to get away from MVCI and just call it MVC4. It would be its own separate release. Which, as a fan of MVCI, I would be kind of upset. I'd feel like I'm buying the game twice, but whatever. And then I wonder how close the MVCI would it be? Would it still be the 2-player tag? Would they go back to 3-on-3? Same engine, same mechanics, all that kind of stuff. If any of this is true, be interesting to find out. Maybe we hear more about it at the Capcom Cup.
Maybe. Yeah,
If
that'd
it's
be
true.
nice.
If
Yes,
it's true.
exactly. If it's even a thing,
If
that's
it's true.
always the
Because,
thing.
because I always imagined MVCI was kind of sort of a, advertisement ploy for, for the films coming out. Hey, let's put the Infinity Gauntlet in it and all of that stuff, and it'll lead into the film. Not directly story wise or nothing like that, but get everybody excited for that. And then that didn't quite work. So maybe they're going to try for round 2 when Avengers 4 comes out next year, and then try it again.
Hopefully this time they keep the base, well, some of the notable base characters there at least.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they put X-Men characters in it and stuff like that, which everything's all in one house now. So film wise, once again, it's not like they didn't have the rights to the characters in video games. They did. It was the whole film side that was messing everything up. There was absolutely nothing stopping them from putting those characters in it besides wanting to push, the MCU so much that, again, I loved MVCI. I thought it was a very fun game, but I do recognize what everybody was saying about the game, especially about the cast. It was a boring cast.
Yeah, the visuals, the base roster,
Yeah.
music,
Yep.
a lot of things in the game was like throwing off.
Yeah.
The gameplay was very fun in terms of creativity.
Yeah.
That's
In some
probably
ways,
one
it
of the
in
points
in
of it.
in some ways it did feel kind of like a half-assed attempt. In some ways, but I think they still gameplay wise they nailed it to me. But presentation wise, it was like they weren't really trying that hard. In a lot of ways, they used that weird, half anime, half realistic art style that just didn't work.
There's so many things to think of. Where to start? There's Chun-Li's face. There's Ghost Rider's level 3. There's
I mean,
West level 3 against the Marvel boss. Why do I not know his name? He's Why did I not know his name?
which Marvel boss? You talking
The
about
main one, Thanos.
Oh, okay. What is it weird
Yeah,
with him or something?
yeah. It just looks really awkward and funny.
Oh,
It's like 'cause he's like moving so slow with like how he gets moved up and all that.
well, I hadn't seen it, so but yeah, so if they just take what they had at base gameplay wise and spend the next year sprucing everything else up, could come out good.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense too if they were to title it as a new MVC game like MVC 4,
Yeah.
because they can just change like the art style too along the way. And that's
Well,
like a big complaint too.
I'm almost positive that's what's going to happen if it's true. There's going to be a
Yeah,
whole new aesthetic to it. Just
yeah,
redo
because
all of them, all of the character models. Because I mean, that's what got me
if
about that the whole time. It's not like Capcom's never made a fighting game before, but it almost felt like they forgot how to make one look good.
yeah, they got the gameplay side down since the presentation was off.
The
Most people
presentation was
like it. Yeah,
just bad. I mean,
yeah.
it just
It was
was.
influenced by the movies too, because of the whole like
Yeah, and I wonder if
realistic look.
that's one of the things that kind of pushed it. Because, like I said, the whole realistic anime type of mixture deal just didn't work.
Mm.
And I
It's
wondered
weird
if
though,
that
because
was
like the
kind of the
titles
things. Hey,
eventually work.
we're kind of playing off how the films look and everything. And no, why is Captain America's ears sticking out like that?
Mhm.
It's just weird. Why does Dante look almost as bad as the whatchamacallit,
DMC
DMC
battles and
Dante?
stuff.
Why is
Mm.
his face so weird? And it's not like they've never made a game with him in it. You know, it's like you have Dante's face right there. Just use it. What are you doing?
I mean, Ken's Street Fighter 5 face happened too,
Y-
but that was like one of the only few screw ups they had.
Yeah, yeah,
Very few, but
yeah.
um, it's weird though. It's like I think the like machine based characters look fine though. They actually look good, like Nova and Iron Man, without the face.
Hmm.
So the face and everything goes
Yeah.
downhill.
I
But
mean, there were some characters that looked really good in that game. I thought. Um,
yeah,
Venom was freaking amazing.
oh yeah, Venom's good too.
I mean, come on. And I wonder if the success of that film kind of might nudge them on a little bit too. Say, hey, hey, hey,
The
we
voice
have a
acting is off
game with the
though.
character in it. Yeah, the voice was a little weird, but I actually got used to it pretty quick. It was a little more high pitched than I was expecting. But
Yeah,
I thought it still kind of fit though.
eh,
But
I
like
think it's
gameplay
still better
wise,
for like Carnage.
he felt exactly the same. Yeah. Carnage would have been a better fit for that. Now I just hope they don't go and try to put like a million different ver- ver- versions of Venom in it. Venom
I'm
and
cool with Carnage. I like
Carnage
Carnage.
and Anti Venom and all the other the Venom
All the other
5 or 6
symbiote
that
based
all there's like symbiotes everywhere. It's like okay, here we go.
symbiotes versus Marvel. I like the idea of what you're saying.
I don't know about that, but
They say have symbiotes versus Juggernaut.
okay, I'm in. Juggernaut. Oh, if Juggernaut.
That pulled you right in.
God, Juggernaut, if they bring him back, please, just give me a chance. Just my luck, he'll suck though. So, but yeah, that's a interesting thing to find out right before we got started. It's like what? It's like
Yeah.
don't get me excited then, because I was almost over the edge with the original. You know, hey, they might do something to MVC. I was like, oh please, and of course, I had to finally convince myself that it wasn't going to happen. But man, I would have loved it.
Makes me wonder if this is a setup.
For what?
Because
Just a big
it's
scam?
like it's because it's just been like a late trend. Well, for Capcom games at least. I don't know about like Tekken and others because they seem to be flowing fine, but it's always in that odd game curse kind of thing. Well, in Marvel's case, it's weird.
I about to say they
Like
were
this.
really hadn't had a bad one.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Marvel 2 is out, but it's like
Which one?
to be fair, Marvel 2 kind of like died off, like in general.
Marvel's
It's just
Capcom 2 or?
I'm talking about like I'm talking about like casually. I think. Or if we're talking about tournaments, no, it's been really strong.
Oh well, yeah. But I don't know, man. We played a lot of MVC2 back in the day.
Yeah.
It's just everywhere. See, to me, I never cared for MVC1, but that was because they took all my characters out of them, like all of them. Exact same thing happened in Tekken 3. Exact same thing happened in Soul Calibur 5. It seems like whenever they decide to put characters on chopping block, they look at all the characters I like and remove those. It's like, but um, I don't know. Possibly, if again, if it's true, Capcom might just be trying to have a nice placeholder, something to hold them up. A second fighting game series that could possibly hold them up until Street Fighter 6 comes out. So, I mean that might be their whole thing. If again, if it's true, that might be their whole thing. Hey, this can kind of hold everybody over until we get Street Fighter 6 out.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I wonder if they're even going to do an arcade version along with another game.
Oh, of MVC4?
Yeah,
that would be interesting.
Because something happened with another Capcom Street Fighter game that it went to the arcades.
Mm-hmm.
We'll probably talk about that later, maybe.
I mean, you can talk about it now if you want to. Street Fighter 5 in the arcades. I don't really know a whole lot about it. I saw some gameplay of it.
We'll get into it later. There was actually a question I wanted to ask you before we jump right into Street Fighter 5 stuff.
What's that?
So, I looked to SNK Heroines, and have you ever played it before?
I still haven't played it yet.
I haven't played it either, but there was something I noticed really weird, and I kind of seen something that's like bad in general. And, it's the stages.
What about them?
Have you noticed something about the stages? There's not many stages at all.
Actually, now that you mention it, I've only seen one.
Yeah, it's always that little chandelier tower stage with sand.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, are there any more backgrounds than that one?
I don't think so. I think there's only 3 stages or 4 stages.
Huh.
But then again, I don't own the game to check it. But the thing is, after watching events and seeing what was playable, it's usually always been the same stages.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll check on that actually. Since I've never played it, and I hadn't really seen that many folks playing it, streaming either. So I will pay attention to that. But yeah, now that you mention it, that is true.
You can Google images right now for the game, and you'll just see that same stage.
Yeah.
You'll have a tower entrance state looking with the doors. Then you'll have another with a spiral stairway, and that's it. That's the only stages you'll likely see. Oh, and then there's a top, the rooftop of a building, where you see the outside sky and all. But that's probably about it.
Interesting.
There really aren't many stages in general.
Interesting indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never thought about it really until you said that.
Yeah. Best is probably 5 or 6, but still, it doesn't seem memorable. Because I always think it's all sameness. So that was just one complaint. Now I'm just seeing that. I mean, there's also the other weird things of how the environment reacts with the characters, but I think that's just more the whole party aspect they want to go for with the game. So I can't really complain it, but yeah, it was interesting to see, but it's also disappointing to see about the stages being that minimal.
I mean, it wouldn't really surprise me. I'm pretty sure they didn't put a whole lot of, I won't say a lot of work, but a lot of maybe thought into it. The game kind of seems just kind of a cash cow type of deal. Make it for cheap and sell it.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Yeah, so they may not be that concerned about it.
Did anything happen with Samurai Showdown 6? Was it related to?
Nothing. Samurai Showdown. Well, just Samurai Showdown.
It's called Samurai Showdown.
Yeah.
And Samurai Showdown 6 it came out on the PS2 and the arcades.
Yeah. So since we talked about it last time, apparently the game timeline wise takes place after 6, but 6 actually took place before 1, which was
How does that
weird.
even work out? Yeah, because isn't every
Yeah,
character?
so it's like, so wait, all these characters were in the game before the first Samurai Showdown. Where did they all go before the first Samurai Showdown? So, but either way, this game takes place between 6 and the very first game, timeline wise. Um, so that's where we are. So it's not a reboot. It is in the timeline, but it technically happens before the first Samurai Showdown. I saw a video somewhere. I can't. I don't know where I saw it, and I can't find it again. That was supposed to be like a second trailer for it or something. But now I'm starting to think it was like a fan made trailer or something like that.
Maybe.
Cause I can't find it anywhere. Not on any of SNK's stuff. Um, but it showed like some more stuff, and it ended with like what's her name at the end of it? The little ice girl that I can't stand.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's similar games. It's
Um,
gonna be a big problem with me. There's a lot of characters that I wouldn't be familiar with their names. I'm just familiar with like the notable ones and probably mainly the ones that I probably played with. I'm just hoping for the names. I'm hoping for Rasetsumaru to be in it. That's all I'm hoping for.
oh yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah. Yeah. This trailer showed what's her name? The girl from the 3D games. She was in SNK versus Capcom. Shiki?
Yes,
Yeah.
Shiki. Yep.
Yeah, it showed her in it, and then at the end, it was like a tease for Ice Girl. Dang it, what is her name? Whatever her name is, it like showed that too. But like I said, I can't find that video anywhere anymore. So I don't know.
Rimururu.
Rimuru, that's it. Thank you.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, I can't stand her. Just I hate her. But either way, still just as excited for that game as I've ever been. I just want to hear more about it. I'm wondering if what other characters are going to be in it, if any more than what they've already showed. Of course, there's always DLC these days and everything too. So by the time it's over, they could put Samurai Showdown 6 characters in there. Which was basically everybody. Because Ganon wasn't in there. Let's see who else. Well, now knowing this is before Samurai Showdown 1, now it's even weirder why he's not there. Seeing that he was in 6. I doubt Jubei's going to be in it. He doesn't show up. He doesn't show up to Samurai Showdown 3. Not Jubei. Jubei's already in it.
Jubei's been married.
Yeah. I'm thinking of dang it. I'm talking about the skinny guy with the blade with chain, the blade at the end of the chain thing.
Oh yeah, that's Basara.
Basara. Yeah. Cool if he comes back, but something tells me he probably won't. At least not on the base character list or whatever. And was Wanfu? Wanfu wasn't showed before, was he?
In Samurai Showdown 1?
Well, in this new one, I think he was one of the ones that wasn't on that little artwork in the middle of the trailer where they kind of showed everybody, and a lot of folks are kind of taking that to mean these are the characters that at least plan to be in the game. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be all of them. But I don't think Wanfu was there. A lot of folks were confusing Tam Tam, I think, for Wanfu. It's like, no, that's Tam Tam. You can clearly see his hair and mask. That's Tam Tam. Is that Wanfu? No, it's Tam Tam. The heck? So, but no, they hadn't said anything else about it yet. I am patiently waiting. It's coming out sometime next year, which is only, 3 months away until next year, and of course, it could be next fall for all we know. But hopefully, we'll hear something soon because that
Yep.
I cannot wait to play that, man. Cannot wait. All right, so you want to jump into Street Fighter stuff?
Yeah, it's not really
Try
much
not to spend the next 3 hours
right.
talking
Yeah.
about it. So first thing, uh, uh, the guy you love so much, ex Kira.
Yeah.
He came out with some more leaks or whatnot. With says season 4 characters. Going to be Sea Viper, Oro, Necro, Q, Sodom, and a new character.
Wait, is this directly from him? Because I thought it was someone else. Because that sounds to me more like a rumor rather than actual data mining.
See, it's well, yeah, he found the dojo mode and the mech Zangief with whoever who you can play for now. Let me look at the story real quick. The United States said 6 man release said 5 will be returning characters. Yeah, that's him that's saying it.
Where's that information coming from?
Where does it ever
Mech
come
and
from?
dojo I can understand, but it's like I don't know where's his character information sources coming from. I don't know. I just had that problem. If is there file like name listings and stuff, or is it just him saying, "Oh, they're coming"?
It states the main 6 characters releasing next year. 5 will be returning characters and 1 brand new character. Oh yeah, there's something about a double release too. If you have any idea what he's talking about, that may be the whole thing that's been going around for like a while now. That there's going to be the 6 characters in the season and then some free characters somewhere in between that was supposed to happen this year, but apparently they pushed it back to next year. By what folks are saying, so that's probably what he's talking about there.
Well, that's been rumored a few times before.
Mm-hmm.
So multiple acts of it can. Well, if it's been brought up multiple times, and sure, that's could happen.
Yeah,
But a grain of salt, though.
all ex Kira said is that five of the characters would be older characters and 1 would be brand new. And then the whole double release thing. So, and I think everybody else is just kind of filling in the gaps of the characters that's been brought up a million times at this point. And that also, I remember earlier this year or last year, there was the one going around that's basically all of these characters plus another new character too. So all kind of falls in line with what all's been said and everything. Only difference is the free characters are now coming in season 4 instead of season 3. But I mean, we still got a couple of months before Capcom Cup, and they haven't announced really jack else besides the new dojo mode, which is a cool little side thing, I guess. But nothing big or anything like that.
Yeah, there's people trying to get like a dojos subs right now, like in forums into the Louisiana group. Does the Mobile group have one?
I started one. I didn't really advertise it. I was just kind of playing around with it, seeing how it worked. But yeah, there is one. It's XMBC, MBAFCX. If anybody wants to find it and join it, cool.
And you can only join one dojo and that's it? Or?
I think you can only join one at a time, but I think you're allowed to change them or whatever. I don't think you're stuck in one once you're in. So, and so they're supposed to eventually start collecting points and stuff. So like everything in that group is going to do points. What does that do? Do you get like a prize for it or something? in-game stuff for being the best one, or I don't know how all
Maybe
of
it
that
might be
works.
maybe you know you do something with fighting chance, but yeah, no one would really know unless like actually look if there's any leftover data that mentions about it.
Hmm. So, but yeah, I would expect Capcom will be saying something about Street Fighter sometime soon, unless they're going to wait all the way till December. Because pretty much after, well, I mean, all the major Street Fighter, well, not just Street Fighter, but all the big FGC events are basically over now, right? Usually by October, it's all done until early next year. So, only thing left will be Capcom Cup.
Mm.
So, I mean, there's nothing else for them to really talk about. I think they already announced season 3 at this point last year. So, hopefully, they'll come out and say something about season 4 soon. I mean, at this point, we all know what's happening. We just need to know exactly what it is. At least
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
anyway. So, well, one announcement that they did kind of make, just kind of, oh yeah, by the way, type of deal. They're decreasing the input lag, October 23rd.
Yeah, that is a that put everyone to shock at least. Well, mentioning about that because what's the frame delay now? It's like around 6 or 7,
Something
and it's
like that, yeah.
variable.
Hmm.
On PS4, it's like variable, so it's like never always one. That's like the PS3 version of Street Fighter 4, and why like most people ditched it for the 360.
Hmm.
That used to have a lot of variable issues too. Probably not as much as 5 though, but it used to went from like uh 3. It was either 2 to 3 to 3 to 4 extra frames of delay. It was either 1 or 2, but it used to vary by 1 frame. I think in 5 for the PS3, I mean PS4. I think now it's like it can go 7, it can go 6,
Yeah, it's between 6
it
and
can go
7.
8.
Yeah,
It's a lot. So
yeah. Now,
I'm debating what they're changing the input delay based off of because they didn't really say where is this going to. Because this change for the input delay may just be for the arcade version only.
I mean, they didn't really say, but I would
Yeah,
presume if they're announcing it, it would be for the console version. 'Cause,
I mean that's what I would hope for too.
I mean,
And I'm kind of assuming this, but I mean, why
well, the home
wouldn't it
version
just
was
be the
Steam too,
arcade
but
version?
well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I presume they expect that the arcade version would be about the same, or you could expect it would be the same on both. I mean, why make one better than the other, or worse than the other, for that matter? I presume it was whatever Namco did to decrease theirs in Tekken 7. They probably used whatever they did, over on theirs too, because the two of them are working together on different tech and everything, particularly online stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
and the main thing about that was the Unreal Engine, right? And it's kind of built into that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm assuming that's where it's coming from, and then they're just going to do it. So that's the big October 23rd update. I wonder if there's anything else going to be mixed in there besides probably new costumes or something like that. Because I mean everything else has already come out. They already came out with the Halloween outfits, and thank goodness they're doing more costume, uh, grouped up. Doggone it! It's like I'll buy the costume bundles. I'm not buying them one at a time. Doggone it!
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully they'll keep doing that. Although I'll probably have to wait till next year to get this year's Halloween costumes all bundled up.
I wonder how do you get the old CPT stuff too?
They've re-released them this year, actually. So,
Well, during the time span of whenever the CBT's going on.
hmm
So, but so right now, if you want, you could get you can get the early ring stage
yeah,
if
but I
you
say I
wanted
think
to.
you can get the year one stuff now, but not some of last year's stuff. Or is that available too?
It's a weird way to work things. Yeah, I'm not so certain about that.
So I remember seeing. I mean, I already have it, so I didn't really pay any mind that it was available again. I saw that it was available again at one point. I don't know if it still is now, but it
Hmm.
probably is. Don't know.
I'll go take a look right quick.
But I would presume at some point they gotta come out and start saying something about season four.
Oh yeah, they have to at some point. I mean, CBT's coming really close. Well, not not the CPT, the
Capcom Cup.
Capcom Cup.
Yeah,
CPT's the whole tour.
yeah.
But yes,
So Capcom
the
Cup's in
Capcom Cup's coming
December.
really soon. Right.
So I mean, unless they want to wait all the way till the end of the year, somehow I doubt they're going to do that. But I don't know where. There's not really anything else they could use to make a big announcement like that to possibly until then. So they might just be like, hey, here's all this stuff coming.
Mm.
I was kind of hoping that since they already released all the characters, they showed all the characters up front, they released them all. It's like maybe we would get like a new story mode or something for the rest of the year, but still hadn't got that. So
I checked the stages, and yeah, you can't buy you can't buy the Ring of Destiny or Riptide. They're the season 1 and season 2 CPT stages.
okay,
They
so
don't.
they're back off again.
Yeah, they're off.
Yeah, I know they were available at one point.
Mm.
So, but I mean, it was still cool that you had the chance to get them and everything. So yeah. Um, Anything else you want to talk about?
Um, I mean, there's still gotta wait like on other things like basic changes and stuff. Like
For
as far as like character balance goes and the whole rumored gameplay mechanics uh, changes that is going to be happening, such as like V skill changes and V system based workarounds.
oh, okay, yeah. We talked about that a little bit last month. Um,
Yeah,
I mean, you think any of that's gonna happen?
I don't know.
Because I
Because
mean,
they can always just probably postpone it, or just it could just be data that's like left over, and it's like, yeah, we're just it was just something we thought, but we're not going to do it. Mm. So I'm not sure what's going to be the deal there.
yeah, that's the whole thing about this next season coming up. We hadn't heard anything yet, so so everything at this point is just like guessing and hoping and kind of deal. I mean, yeah, they brought up the new V systems, new supers. New supers wouldn't surprise me
I'm
at all.
surprised new supers hasn't been a thing early on. I mean, they're called critical arts. Like,
Hmm.
well, based on like Street Fighter 3, critical arts were special in that you can select multiple different types of supers
Right.
before the match starts. So it's weird they called it that, but you don't get to really select your supers. So
Everybody just kind of
I
gets
don't know.
one.
Yeah, so I just feel like it was like a weird thing to start off with.
So I mean, what other? I don't know what other kind of supers would you put in there? Because I mean,
Definitely see something
what
new.
what they had did with a lot of the characters was put their other super moves as kind of either EX moves or V triggers. So technically a lot of those moves are in the game. They're just not super moves anymore.
Mm.
So, that might be weird. Changing Ken's
He
V
triggered
V
Jason
V2
Ryuken.
to something else so they can give him, the actual Shinryuken that everybody wants.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. I mean, they could do it.
I mean, they could give him like Soryu Reppa.
Yeah, but it's already his EX.
True. Yeah. That's.
See, that's what I'm saying. A lot of the other moves are already in the game, just as EXs.
Mm.
So, I mean, with the new characters, of course, you can do all kinds of stuff. But with the older characters, with all of their older supers basically already in the game, what do you do?
Yeah, like Ryu has the Denjin Hadouken. He has the Sensoryuken. The only thing that might be questionable maybe is the Tatsumaki super, but I don't know.
Yeah, but
EX Tatsuya kind of already does
it's
that.
yeah, yeah. So, what would you give like Chun Li? She has the Kokoka
Oh,
now.
she had a Hazansu super in Dirt Strike that was like never used. But the problem is that's the thing; it's like never used. So it's like,
Oh yeah.
oh, and yeah, there is Kokoso, which might no Kokoso is her V trigger too.
Kokoko's yeah, yep.
So yeah, that's even if they were to enter like Hazansu as a super, it's like at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like Third Strike where nobody's gonna pick that super. It's always been the go-to. Just go for whatever gets late hit confirms.
Mm-hmm.
We're consistent at it. Like, yeah.
So yeah, if they decide to do extra supers, it would be interesting to see what they do. I mean, they just have to make some new ones, or
Mm.
rearrange characters' moves so much where it would almost feel like a brand new game, because all of a sudden some
Yeah.
of these EX moves just wouldn't exist anymore because
And
now
all
they're
of a sudden,
supers.
what Ken now gets his old EX Tatsumaki. Well, it's not old, but like in the files, Ken's EX Tatsumaki had like a different properties. So instead of it doing what it does now,
Mm-hmm.
it used to be like an actual like a light kick animation, and then goes on to like something that looks similar to like his Super Arc 3 and Third Strike. I don't actually remember. It was like Simpu Jiraiken, I think
Mm-hmm.
that's called.
Yeah.
And but yeah, that's been ditched. So that whole animation was like just left over and just not used. So
Yeah, I mean his EX is basically the end of that now, right?
EX Tatsumaki,
Yeah, where it ends with
kind
him
of,
going up in the air.
kind of. It's like a different alteration, but yeah, pretty much. It's
Mm-hmm.
just instead of going up vertically, now it's up toward towards like at like a 2 o'clock angle,
Yeah,
I guess.
like diagonally. But didn't it do that in Third Strike? Am I not remembering
No.
it?
Third Strike, it was it went forward
Yeah,
like
he
3
did the
o'clock,
kicks and
and
then
then it goes straight up like 12 o'clock.
it goes straight up. Are you sure?
Yeah, it goes straight up.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. I think you're wrong, but I'll take your word for it.
No, I played Third Strike a lot, so I would know it goes straight up.
Uh-huh.
And doesn't like the Evo Mode 37 thing come along too? That went straight up too. The only thing that went, you might be thinking when it goes forward is once the last hit hits, because when the last hit hits, then then opponent falls forward more a bit, but Ken still floats
Well, I mean, yeah.
at a straight vertical angle.
Yeah, I know. Like, who's it? What am I thinking? Akuma didn't he have the one that goes straight up?
Yeah, that was his Super Art 3.
Yeah, it's like was there a like a good use for that, or
That did a lot of damage, I think.
did it?
Yeah, but I think most people ended up preferring Super Art 1, I think, the Fireball Super, because he had the air Fireball Super and the ground Fireball Super that can convert from Tatsus and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a way to link the Super from the level 1 Super as well. But some people did had a reason to use the Super Art 3 at times, and I think I remember it was due to damage. But Super 2 I think was the one that wasn't really used because I think at times it would drop a few times. I mean, Super Art 3 too, but that had better damage in general. But yeah, most people are just gonna pick Super Art 1 anyways. It was just a go-to. Um, I mean that was kind of like the same. Well, no, I was gonna say it was the same thing, kind of like with Ryu, but Ryu is like its own dedicated fan base thing where people like to use this one super and it works out. And all this Third Strike talking is kind of, you know, bringing bad memories and some decent ones, but mostly bad ones. Probably for your end, it's mostly bad ones
Why you say that?
because that's what killed the arcades.
Oh
Then
well, no, well,
for Street Fighter.
you know, I always say what actually killed arcades down here was the Dreamcast. Street Fighter 3 killed Street Fighter, which
Yeah.
slowly killed arcades. But down here, when the Dreamcast came out, and you can get basically the arcade versions of all these games, and even some of the games looked so much better than the arcade version. Soul Calibur. Uh, it's like there was no point. It's like once Street Fighter Alpha 3, once MVC 2, especially when MVC 2 came out, that was it. I mean, we'd probably spend, God, Lord knows. Well, I always say, God, we must have spent so much money at the arcade, but we really didn't. We'd go in there and maybe spend 50 cents because we just keep winning. But you know, the hours and hours and hours we used to spend in the arcades playing. Uh, for us, it was mostly MVC 1, MVC 2, Capcom versus SNK. I would play Street Fighter 3 because nobody else was, um, but you know, the hours that everybody would come together, you know, we go after college and go start playing it and meet up with all the arcade friends and whatnot. And then once the Dreamcast came out, and then as soon as MVC2 came out for it, it was like, well, now I got the game at home. I can just play it there, and that was it. It was like it was like we pretty much almost never went back to the arcade after that. By the time we did, it was you know nobody was at the arcades anymore. You know, PS2 came out and Tekken Tag Tournament. So all of those guys in the arcades were at home playing that, and
Yeah,
yeah,
and that was an example of a console version being better too,
mm-hmm,
graphically.
yep,
Load times are still better on the arcade, but like, yeah,
yep. But yeah, all of a sudden the home console just overshadowed it. So it was like there was no point in going back there when you can just buy the game once and play it all you want.
yeah.
So, but oh yeah, but yeah, Street Fighter 3 just killed arcades, killed fighting games in arcades as a whole. Yes, 'cause nobody wanted to make fighting games anymore, or at least not in that vein. That's why I always say, all of us older guys, Guilty Gear, especially Guilty Gear X and XX series, are always going to have kind of a special place in our heart because it was the only thing you could play, you know. Capcom wasn't making games anymore. Nobody else was. It was just that.
Yep. And
So
3D games too.
well, yeah. Don't even get me started on the PS1. When Sony for a minute thought that the only thing anybody ever wanted to play was Battle Arena Toshinden. 2D games, psh, nobody plays those anymore. We need to make more of this. Can you imagine?
What was the? What was that one? Was that the? Oh, thinking of Tobal.
Tobal, yeah.
Yeah, there was a number two that was like never came out
It never came out in
outside of
America, yeah.
Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was so excited too because they were advertising the crap out of that game and then it just never came out. Like, come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because it had Gotenks in it, if I'm not mistaken, right? I know it
What?
had a Dragon Ball character in it. I think it was Gotenks. I may be mistaken, but I think it was him. It's like a
I have
guest
to look that
character
up
in it.
because I did not know that.
I vaguely remember the first one. I still have the first one in there. Actually, I have the second one in here somewhere, but I don't even remember it now. Pretty sure it's one of those games. If I went back and played it now, what's in my head of what it was would be completely different than what what it actually is. It's like going back and playing Dragon Ball GT Final Bout. That game was 10 times worse than I recall it being. And I remember it wasn't that good back then. It was like, oh my God. It's like you press a button and nothing happens for 5 seconds. So bad.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah. And folks used to beg us to sell them that game. Because by the time the anime got big over here in America, the game had already been out a couple of years. We had already known about it. So we bought the game the day it came out. Nobody knew what it was. And then by the time everybody knew what it was, the game wasn't for sale anymore. So it was very hard to find. I was working at Toys R Us, and I told the guy that would just in customer in conversation that I had the game, and he put down two $100 bills on the counter, just for me to say that I would bring him the game that next day. Like, take the money now, bring me the game tomorrow. And I'm like, dude, it's not good. You don't want to play it, trust me. But he really wanted it. Of course, they eventually re-released it in 2004, 2003, 4, something like that. They
Yeah,
released all of them
around
actually on the PS1.
then.
So, and everybody could find out that none of them were good. Well, one of them was kind of good. It was weird, but it was good. The other ones were meh.
I think we're getting a bit off topic.
Well, as always. So,
Yeah.
um,
There isn't really much to
yeah, it
go through
hadn't
because
been a
there
whole lot.
hasn't been many news.
Yeah, it hadn't been a whole lot of news. This is usually the time of year when stuff kind of starts slowing down. So,
Yeah.
well, one thing I did want to
There's
kind of bring up real quick. The whole PS4 cross-platform thing.
oh yes.
So I know a bunch of folks were getting all excited about it and everything. To my understanding, they were really only talking about um, Fortnite for right now, right? Because of that whole fiasco. If you had Fortnite on the PS4 and then you took your account to somewhere else, then anything that you got on the PS4, if your account was ever linked to a PS4 account, you couldn't take your account everywhere else that you could play the game.
I think I heard something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it apparently it was always a thing from the PC to PS4 version, but when it came out on the Switch is when it really came to the forefront. It's like, well, wait a minute. Why can't I bring my skins and whatever else you have in that game? I've never played Fortnite. I don't care about it. But folks were like, furious, and Sony was basically just like, yeah, once you play it on the PS4, why would you want to play it somewhere else? And folks were like, because I have a cell phone that I can take anywhere, because I have a Switch I can take anywhere, because I want to play it on PC when I'm not sitting in front of my PS4.
And plus, it could be just one of those like monthly or just that time of year where you want to like exchange systems. You know, if you can't fit all the systems all in one place, you probably just want to have like if you want to make a transition to Switch, you just stick with that for the time being.
Well, see, yeah,
Yeah.
all of your stuff is saved on your from my understanding, all of your stuff is saved on your account, and then you basically just move that account to whatever you know system or computer or whatever you're playing. So all your stuff can follow you around. So no matter which system you're playing it on, all your stuff is still there. But
Right.
if one of the systems you ever put it on was the PS4, Sony didn't allow you to share whatever was on their system. So if you got a bunch of stuff on the PC version of the game, then put it on the PS4, and then decide to put it on the Switch, all the stuff that you carried over from PC to PS4, you couldn't carry any of it over anymore if you tried to move your account over to the Switch version of the game. And some of the stuff, from what I understood, you couldn't even carry back to the PC. Just as long as your account was ever on the PS4, you couldn't do anything about it. And Sony was just kind of like, I don't see what the big deal is. So, everyone knew they had to do something about this. It's the biggest game in the world right now. And, folks were furious. So they had to do something about it. And everybody was kind of hoping this would be the straw that broke their back. And everybody's so excited now, but for right now, I think it's really only about Fortnite. So I'm not getting too excited. That one day we'll get a Xbox One version of Street Fighter 5 and everybody can play together and everything. But it is definitely a step in a hopeful direction
Yeah, that's
because
true.
you got games now that basically work with everything but the PS4, and it's like they're kind of like the old no fun guy over there. Everybody else is having fun, and he's like, nah, I'm just gonna sit here and do
On
this.
that little treehouse, no, don't
Yeah,
allow that.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
So they had to do it, but like I say, I'm not getting too excited that that I can buy Madden on PS4 and play my friends on Xbox One, or uh, really the shooting games, because Sony, starting with the PS4, in the last few years, finally got the sweetheart deals with Activision now, with both COD and Des- Destiny 2, where they're getting all the DLC and stuff first, and they're getting stuff that you can't get on other consoles and everything. That's the real reason they were like, no, we're not going to do cross platform stuff. We finally got the deals that Xbox had back in the Xbox 360 days, where they had reasons where folks would only want to get it on the PS4. They have absolutely no interest, and it would do them no good. They don't want folks buying it on any system. They want you to have a reason to buy it on theirs. I get it, but you know when everybody's having fun playing what's the game with the cars and the soccer ball? Uh,
Um, this slipped. I know it was. I know what you're talking
yeah,
about.
you know what I'm talking
Rocket
about.
League.
Every
Is that what it's called?
huh?
Rocket League.
Yeah, yeah. So everybody's playing that on everything now except PS4. If I got a Switch, I can play folks on Xbox One. If I got an Xbox One, I can play folks on PC and all that. But
PC users can play on Switch too.
hmm?
Can the PC play with the Switch users too?
Oh yeah, yeah. All three of them can play with each other. They're all playing the same game, but not on PS4.
That's quite lame.
Yeah. So um, again, I understood why Sony was doing it, but everybody kind of knew when the whole Fortnite thing happened at E3. They were like, okay, they're going to have to do something about this. So they finally did, and we'll see if that eventually converts to something else. You know, because really the only other thing I'd be interested in is having them do it with like the shooter games and everything. Because I got a guy that been wanting to play. He's been wanting me to play Destiny with him forever. I had the first game on the PS4. He had it on the Xbox. Then the second one came out, and He actually got a PS4 and the game to play the second one so that we could play together. And I waited and got the second one on PC. so, so I didn't know this until after, though. He told me, hey, I finally got a PS4. And I was like, oh, I got it on PC. Like, damn it. So, you know, um, that would be cool, though. So, then it would just be, it wouldn't be so much, what's all my friends playing it on. It can finally be, well, I have this system, but I can play with all my friends because we can play everything, over the same networks and everything. I think we're still a good ways off from that day.
Yeah, I mean, it'll just be now like, do you have the game? That's it.
Yeah.
Well, that's gonna be a problem. What if they're gonna do something like, play on toaster oven PCs, try to lag up the whole online experience.
Well,
I think there should be like benchmarking stuff to do just to verify if the person can run the game well.
Yeah, that's why most games, you can see the network connection to whoever you're trying to connect to, and just be like, yeah, I'll filter those guys out.
Mm.
So,
but how do you stop multiplayer games that has multiple people in it?
Do what?
Well, I'll take that back, because there's eventually going to be a time when you play like when multiple people are on a server and in the lobby,
mm-hmm.
and there's always that one guy that might be laggy.
Oh, well, yeah, that happens a lot now. You either kick that guy,
Yeah.
like, fix your internet, sir. Boop. That's about all you can do. So, and I always feel bad for folks who live in areas where they can't get good internet. There's some guy who's trying his best to play as much Street Fighter 5 as he can off of his cell phone, because he lives in a farm in the middle of nowhere. That's all he's got.
Is there someone like that actually doing that?
Oh, I guarantee you, there's somebody doing it right now. I guarantee it. There's a guy in the middle of, I don't know, where's a place that doesn't have a lot of stuff in it? Wyoming. Sitting in the middle of a mountain in Wyoming, where they don't have broadband, but he has, some cell phone coverage there, and he's sharing his 3G, because that's all he's able to get with his PS4 to try to get some games in. I guarantee you it's happening right now.
Yep. That makes sense. I only say Brazil because that's been a common thing where it's like you go to like a typical emulator server from Fightcast, and also you just have a Brazilian player that just comes.
Oh wow!
And just sends the invite.
Yeah.
And
Yes, that's about true. They love them some. Like games are so expensive down there. That's why they're still all playing all the old stuff.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Some are like straight up bootleg too.
Well, yeah, a lot of that.
Have you seen like the one where it was like there was like a Tekken bootleg they had for, I think it was for Tekken 2?
I don't think so.
Yeah, they had something that was like it's some bootleg version of like the PlayStation, and it had Tekken 2, and it was like really custom made. So it was like what the music was in like a MIDI sequence or something. But the models were the same. The models were the same like in Tekken 2. It was just everything else just felt like, completely revamped for this bootleg machine.
Yeah.
It was the worst thing, yet it was also probably one of the most interesting things I saw. It was like someone really took the time to use all the models from Tekken 2, portraits.
Yeah.
Make it seem like an actual playable thing. Like if it was like, what would happen if it was before the PlayStation 1 era, but after like the Sega Genesis, where there was like not true perfect ports were available.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, PlayStation 1 port of Tekken 2 wasn't really truly perfect either.
Oh no.
It used the same system. It's just like, of course, it can't handle stuff like the loading time, the sound processing unit.
Yeah.
Like was different.
Yeah, thumbs.
So like,
King didn't have a thumb forever. We used to always laugh at that. In the arcades, he'd do the throat slit and then the thumbs down. And then in the PlayStation version, he'd just do it with a fist.
You had to like
It's
cut
like,
the
where's this thumb? You couldn't
it was
add 4 more corners just for the win pose, really?
polygons are very they're quite resourceful.
I know, yeah, yeah. We used to always laugh at it. We used to always do it too. Just no thumb. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah, that's also true. Like with some of the things in Tekken 3 also, um, like they didn't have the helicopter in King's stage. I think in the console port,
for which one?
and on the console version of Tekken 3, like it didn't have
Oh yeah,
the
yeah,
helicopter stage,
yeah.
and I think Xiaoyu's stage didn't have the animating horse ride thing at the back. It wasn't. It was like a picture, I think, in
Oh, the
the
carousel. I think it was. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. The backgrounds in 3 were not the same as the arcade. Yeah,
yeah.
but
Couldn't
considering
couldn't
what they
handle it.
did with it, though, I mean, it was pretty good. But yeah, things
Yeah,
that were 3D in the arcade was just like a picture, and it would kind of move around instead of the camera just kind of moving around the 3D area. Yeah, the background would kind of roll around you to kind of give you a 3D feel, but it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't the same.
yeah.
It wasn't the same at all.
Mm-mm. Nope.
But so yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Um,
Yeah, same here. Not much else to
yeah, not really a
keep
whole lot
talking to.
going on, and unless they start
Are,
announcing stuff soon, it's probably gonna be about the same next month.
are you saying we can end this? We're going to end this podcast rather early?
Yeah, it may not even be 2 hours by the time it's over. That would
Mm,
be amazing. I got stuff to do tonight anyway, so.
yeah.
So let's see. I don't think we got any questions. Nope. So yeah. Think we can call it quits.
Um. Yeah. I
What you got?
suppose there's not much I could really talk about at the moment.
Yeah. Just waiting on Soul Calibur 6 to come out. That's.
Is there any like major tournaments coming? Like,
I don't
major.
know. I haven't really been keeping up with much since for the last couple of weeks. I've been extremely occupied for somebody who's been unemployed for the last couple of months. I've been really like I've had all kinds of stuff to do these last 3 weeks or so.
Yeah.
So I really hadn't been able to keep up with much of anything.
Alright.
But majors wise, I think they're all over. Because I know usually after October, I remember when we started doing events, we used to always wonder why doesn't nobody ever do anything in October, November time. It's just everything just starts to slow down this time of year, big events wise. Now, I'm sure there's a probably a Arc Rev something going on, probably at some point. And then of
Oh
course
yeah, there is definitely an arc rev coming up soon.
yeah, and then of course it's Capcom Cup, and that's not till December.
Yep.
So Tekken, I'm sure, is doing something too somewhere, but they'll be their own standalone things because I don't think there are any majors until like early next year
Mm.
at this point. So yeah,
There were two things that did pop up, but maybe we'll just be really quick on them.
what's that?
There's not much to talk about. It's the whole Echo Fox dropping like the Tekken crew and
Oh, I saw something about that. The first
yeah,
story I saw about it kind of made it seem like they were leaving, and then now something. Yeah, they like dropped all the Tekken players plus Punk.
Yep.
Yeah, sounds like it's just kind of a downsizing thing.
Yeah, that sounds like a thing kind of like just like with like with most of the FGC sponsors. There's always that like time where it's like people will be dropped over time.
Yeah, uh, uh, I'm sure it's a cost versus reward type deal. I always wonder how do sponsors make money sponsoring somebody, especially if you're
Yeah,
not like a product or something. You know,
yeah, that's
what else
the
does
weird
Echo
thing
Fox
is
do?
Yeah, I think like yeah, they just probably kind of gave it a chance, and maybe they're just trying to size it down because they're probably not seeing
Yeah,
too much of the income.
yeah,
That's probably why they have people like Sonic Fox still in.
oh well, yeah, the folks that still win,
Yeah,
Sonic
but
Fox and Justin
JDCR is
Wong
a
and
weird choice though to
hmm,
go out. People like JDCR and Saints kind of a weird choice to put out though.
yeah,
But
but I presume it's a money thing. They probably don't bring in as much money as the
yeah, that is true.
Street Fighter and the Dragon Ball guy.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing with like it could also be like based on results.
So that
It's
too.
weird because JDCR has like JDCR had like a lot of good results like a few years ago, and even kind of last year. It's just that like lately, see, he's been kind of like not doing as great.
Yeah, that's kind of what I
And
thought too, because like Punk is the same way. Although Punk has been kind of on the rise the last few months. He's
yeah,
he's kind of been back. He still hadn't won anything, not that I know of anyway. But he's
he
been doing a
won
lot better.
something. He won something I think in that Mexico tournament.
Okay.
But maybe like the like most of the high traveling people that really wants to get for those CPT points. I don't think they were there.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean I can't really add much to it to that. But I mean he won that tournament. So I don't know
Yeah.
how tough the brackets were though. But
Yeah.
it's still noteworthy to get first.
Yeah.
So
But how much did he win from that as opposed to
typical
DreamHack
CPT events.
or yeah,
Yeah,
stuff
I
like
don't
that?
know.
Exactly. So, because
Yeah,
I
so
presume the sponsors get like a cut of whatever they win, and if you aren't in, if you're constantly placing in say top 16 or something like that, but payout goes to top 12, then what am I spending money sending you all over the world to play this game for? I think it's
yeah,
kind of what that came
that's
down
just
to.
always been the problem with um, fighting games in esports, kind of.
I mean, yeah,
Cause,
it's a money thing as a business.
yeah, because how they most do things. If in esports they have their own sessions where it's like they handpick from the team's perspective. It's not like an all in where everybody can get into to enter the tournament.
Hmm.
Fighting games always been the thing,
Yeah.
it's which is nice to have. It's where everybody can get in, and compete.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who the player is, you know.
Yeah.
Test your skills from there. The problem with that is a lot of times there's always that like dark horse that's actually good,
Hmm.
and and they'll consider those upsets, and those are the kind of things that would probably hurt the people who are sponsored. You know,
Yeah. But I mean,
whereas
that's how you find the new folks.
exactly,
That's how
but
you find
that's
Punk.
exactly. But then
Went from a guy
it's like
nobody knew his name to the best player in the world for a while, and you know,
the game changes a lot then.
yep,
Yeah, that's a lot of the Street Fighter V's time span has been like that. The game takes like a lot of changes, and
yeah,
it just really comes down to how well the new changes makes and how well we can adapt to it.
yep. I'm just wondering, will we ever see a Japanese Capcom Cup winner? You think this could be the year?
I don't know because the last two was no, this one wasn't a European. Yeah, this one was Problem X's time at Evo,
Problem. Oh
but
yeah,
the
at
last
Evo. Yeah,
but the last two Evos were Japan, I believe.
yeah.
No, no,
Tokyo,
no, no, no. Japan and Korea.
Japan, and Korea. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'm wondering if Capcom Cup has been all Americans and DR so far.
Yeah, American,
So
Dominican Republic, and
for Street Fighter Five, I
TBA.
think yeah,
Yeah.
Jap, Jap, Japanese owned Street Fighter Four.
Oh yeah, those
So
are arcades and help.
yep, yep. Put us on the even, put us on the even feel, and you see what happened now. So
Doesn't really work that way from season two Evo, but yeah, it does make a lot of things very dynamic now, especially with how quickly things are changing as far as like uh, mechanics and just general character balance. Where you'll have Ryu be good in season one, then now Ryu being worthless, and now you have to pick up like Guile to do well,
Yeah.
like Daigo did.
Mm-hmm. Cammy, man, those freaking pictures with Cammy with Abigail's body, I die every time I see one of those. It's so funny.
Yeah, he said as a Halloween costume.
Okay. I thought about that actually. It's like they ought to just put that in the game. It would just be,
It would sell,
obviously not really work, but it would be hilarious.
and it would sell.
It probably would, just like you and your bag over Ken's head.
Yep, it's a guarantee. It'd be guaranteed money.
Oh,
Some
that
of
would
these costumes are pulling in to make the input delay fix actually work now, so they can get the money in time to fix things,
right.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll see, I
Which,
guess.
yeah,
So,
I don't think it's gonna really affect too much though. I think still like the general problems are still gonna be a thing.
hmm
Like
yeah.
reactions are still gonna be reactions, except the install from badge. That's gonna be probably maybe that's gonna be a little, worse.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I wonder if it'll help me out anytime. Every time I swear I take a throw and I didn't. It's like I know I did, man. I was hitting the buttons every time, man. Input delay. That's exactly what it is every time. All right. Well, I think we're gonna
Well,
call it a night.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, well, there was the other arcade, but we'll ditch that. Those the arcade from Korea. That's down, and that's all the news I have.
no. Okay.
That's it. We can just end it at that.
Yeah. So, going off of our usual schedule for this, it looks like the next one will probably be November 9th. Um, November 2nd would usually be our casuals. Again, I'm not sure if that's going to happen because, again, I might be in Baltimore because of reasons. Uh, so,
That's that's unfortunate.
so yeah, stay tuned to the group for information on all of that stuff and everything. So, uh, but yeah, I guess until then, well, thanks everybody for watching tonight, and we'll see y'all next time. Uh, Maybe Ace will be here next time, and we can play a game until like half an hour after it's supposed to start again.
Maybe I'll
Maybe.
try to see if I can probably get anyone else to come by. I'll see that. So it's like next Friday, right?
Oh yeah. October 19th, Korabi Bubble Tea,
Yeah, I'll
right here in Mobile.
probably mention to a few people around my area, see if they want to go too, and see how that goes.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean it's always fun. Like I say, it's always just a laid back, chill time. We usually have anywhere between 5 and 10 guys show up, and we just all play and talk about games and stuff. It's awesome. So all right. Until next time.
All right.
See y'all. Peace.
Thank you for the podcast. Thank you everybody for joining.
All right.
Later.
Later.